Well, here's a figure that I've been sitting on for a while. You could tell because it's warm and moist. It is the DC Multiverse Arkham Knight Red Hood action figure. Dude doesn't come with guns. He comes with these and trigger fingers. That's because we're probably supposed to buy this gun pack right here. But the shipping costed way more than the actual package itself, so I was like, screw that. I farted, sorry about that. Red Hood, Batman Arkham Knight, and on the back, we have a picture of Red Hood. I never noticed this before. Well, that's a detail I've missed my entire... Look at that. Is that duct tape? Did he duct tape his armor shut? You can see the duct tape there. It's on the other side. Okay, let's just take this out of the package and have a closer look. And then carefully cut the top open because I don't want to damage the figure on the inside. And look at that. It opens just like a book. Like it was always intended to. I feel like a guy in the movie that's about to rip someone's heart out of the chest. Ugh. Figure stand, trading card, as usual. All the effects are taped in. 1, 2, and then we got the extra hands, the gun hands. For, you know, if you had a came with a gun, stretch, you just gotta pull, and you're careful. There you go. You take him out of the package, and he automatically looks like he's got back pain. Oh, me back hurts. It hurts so bad. Ooh, Batman, don't make me go on patrol tonight. Ooh. Get the figure stand, put Jason on top of it, hand, punching effect, and other more different punching effect. Mother box, not included, and trading card. Alright. And here is everything that we got in the package. Man, I can't wait till Warner Brothers gets this stupid idea out of their head that you can't pack in toy guns with the figures, that guns are an essential part of the character. So the trading card, at the front, you got a picture of Red Hood. Of course, you can see that. And on the back, you have a Red Hood bio. These two alternate hands that he comes with here for a gun. It would be really nice if they actually came with a gun. Or two. 2 guns, please. I'll take 2, please. And instead, we get this, which is clearly to attach to his arm. And we get this, which is clearly to attach to his fist. So it's like the punching and kicking whooshes from the game. And the figure itself, bye-bye figure stand, this is actually really quite fantastic. I will say that I like this one already more than I like the original DC Direct version, because this version seems a lot less brittle, and it's definitely more posable than the original in some ways. And I just feel like this is a tougher figure. It's going to withstand posing on the shelf, and it's done pretty good. For the most part, this figure looks neat and tidy. There are some like weird scuffages. Okay, maybe the paint apps, the closer look I take, are not so good, Al. Like the red along the coat there, that's kind of messy, and that side's really messy. Okay, so the paint apps on this guy could be a lot better, but you know what I always say, right? If you're just going to look at it like this, you won't even notice. I do like how the magazines are separately sculpted pieces here. That's kind of nice. And I do like the actual chest area and torso of this figure. This looks really slick. I've never been a big fan of the whole lighter color on top of darker color for this Jason Todd. I mean, it clearly looks like a motorcycle jacket, but they should have just picked a color like black or perhaps dark brown and then just gone with it. This is not one of my favorite Red Hood designs. His shin guards look really nice. I like that. I think these really draw my eye to them. I like the sculpting. I like the detail. They're simply enough done, but yeah, this is a pretty cool looking figure. I want to look at his head a little bit more, but I mean, he does have the hood in the way, which, I mean, that's going to A, get in the way of his articulation, but B, I feel like if I try to move this too much, I'm going to ruin it, but you know me, it's review time, so now I gotta try and do it. Hopefully I don't cock up the paint like I did with my other Red Hood, the DC Direct. So that's what the head sculpt looks like from the back. Oh, that's a lot shabby. Not so good, Al. But I do have other Red Hood head sculpts that might fit on this body, and we're not really intended, I think, to see the back of this guy's head. So, like, this is what This is what it's intended to be right here. Now, just before we get into any kind of articulation segment, I figured it might be kind of fun, first of all, to bring in the original DC Direct Arkham City Red Hood figure. The patch on his suit is on the left side with this figure as well, which means that this is a mirror image. As you can see, I've also swapped out the heads on the DC Direct because I really wanted that domino mask. And the bonus is, because I wanted to use the Mattel Red Hood domino mask head sculpt on this body, it freed up the DC Direct head sculpt, and I can actually put it on this body. Like, they actually look like they're pretty close as far as scale goes. But I definitely like the cleaner paint job on the McFarlane as opposed to the DC Direct version that looks a little bit more rough. I mean, there definitely are details there on this that I really like. I mean, that looks like splattered spray paint. And it looks like splattered spray paint here too. I just feel like DC Direct did that part better. Weird that there's this odd wrinkle in the back of his jacket. I didn't notice that before. And up close we can actually see that the boots for Red Hood are supposed to be painted black. And for Todd's, they're actually not painted at all. So that'll be something that I'll probably touch up myself later as well. And then here he is with the mishmash of other DC Multiverse Jason Todd Red Hood figures. For those of you trying to put together what you might consider a reasonable Bat family from the Arkhamverse, well, this is what I came up with. Technically, this Nightwing is not from the Arkham universe, but he looks like he is, and he fits in nicely, so I've subbed him in. We got Timmy over on this side, and we got the Arkham Knight Batman over on that side. And then for that final comparison for this video, I've actually got Jason compared to Jason. On the left, we have the bad version of Jason, the pre-Red Hood version of Jason in the Arkham universe. You'll notice that they both have guns, and that is because I wanted them to have guns because, well, they're Jason Todd, and Jason uses guns. At this point, really the only thing left to do before the final thoughts is the articulation. Don't count for much in the head. I'm not even going to bother because it's in the hood. I mean, you can well, I just did bother, didn't I? I was like, I'm not going to do it, and then I did it. It's on a ball joint. What do you expect it's going to do what the ball joint is? But that hood, that big rubbery hood, is absolutely going to definitely get in the way. We have the rounded hinge in the arm there. No sockety thing that goes on the inside, it's just in the jacket. We also, with these figures here, as always, we're going to have a bicep swivel 360. We have the elbow that crunches up doubly, the double jointed elbow. He can have his morning stretch with his pistols in his hands. For both of the wrists, it's actually a little bit different, and I like what Todd is doing here. Please do more of this, Todd. It's just your simple hand with a hinge in the wrist. Just like this. Nothing more, nothing less. This is really all we need. The torso under the leather jacket is going to get 360. He gets a considerably large amount of looking down motion in comparison to a lot of McFarlane's DC Multiverse figures. And he can bobble around actually quite a bit. Definitely surprised at this amount of articulation with this fairly rigid, stiff-looking figure. The waist, what does he get? Well, 360. He gets a little bit, not as much. I suppose the torso maybe makes up for it a little bit, but not as much there. Down here, yep, you guessed it, he's got that. And, ooh, oh, that is a shamefully small amount. Oh, I wish he had so much more. That would be so much better, because everything else with this articulation is, you know, it's pretty good. Forward, back, as far as the normal human butt cheeks would go, unless you've been trained to do the splits. In that case, all the power to you. I know the last thing I want to do is rip open my chota. Anyway, so that, and then we have the knees. It picks up again, double jointed, crunched right up, just like that. And then finally, down here under his pants, we've got articulation by way of the rounded hinge, the toe articulation, the pivot. Not so good, Al. The toe, yes, not that though. It's okay. So what do I think about this Red Hood figure from McFarlane Toys based on his appearance in the Arkham Knight? Honestly, aside from the sloppy paint, which I'm going to really try my hand at retouching, I think that he's pretty good. But aside from that, I really love this figure and highly recommend that you pick this guy up if you're a fan of Jason Todd. If you're a fan of the Arkham Knight, if you're a Batman fan in general and you just want to collect all figures Batman, this one I feel like is definitely going to be a pickup for you. But anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Hopefully you found this video to be an interesting, useful, insightful waste of time, and I will see you with the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and as always, take care.